everyone, happy first day of July, and I'm going to do a book review of the books I read in June. So I actually didn't end up reading as much as I usually read this month. Maybe I did, I don't know. I've been really busy. I just finished a dance show, which took up probably a whole week of just not reading very much. And I'm in a musical now. I get to be in Shrek at the end of July. So I've just had so many things going on, really good things, really positive things for my dancing and acting career, quote unquote. Not that I get paid. I actually pay to do it. So I've been very busy. So I'm just going to talk about the books I did manage to finish this month. The first book I finished was The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I did not like this book. This book is slightly better than The Maidens. I guess I didn't have very high expectations going in to this book because of the bad reviews. I was a huge fan of The Silent Patient. I thought that book was phenomenal. In fact, it's about time to reread it. Then I read The Maidens and I was extremely disappointed. And then gave him one more chance with The Fury. And this book was just mediocre. So mediocre, so predictable, and also not very intelligent. So I'm going to get rid of this one. I got this out of a free library. It's going to go right back into that free library. Not that I want to put mediocre books back out into the world, but I don't want it. And I'm going to unhaul it. So yeah, I guess The Silent Patient was his, I guess he put everything he had into that book, and now I don't know, maybe is out of ideas. So that's disappointing. This is an author that I wish I could continue loving, but he has not written anything like The Silent Patient. I also read Remember Me by Sophie Kinsella. I am a huge fan of Confessions of a Shopaholic. I read the whole series years ago before I was seriously reading books. This book is a lot like What Alice Forgot, but funnier, but it's not good. I did not like this book that much. I also found this kind of mediocre. In fact, I read it this month and I'm having trouble remembering it. Like I don't even remember really any of the details in this book. It actually made me very reminiscent for Confessions of a Shopaholic after I read it. So I got the first book in the series from Audible and I listened to it and it was pretty good. It was definitely better than Remember Me. I think I do want to read the Shopaholic series again because Shopaholic and Sister is one of my favorite books of all time. And I've read it many, many times. And every time I read it, I still love it. I do really like this author's writing. I do like some of the cute little words she uses. She seems to reuse words and lines that are very nostalgic for me, which makes me happy. So I do want to continue reading books by this author. But Remember Me was unfortunately a bit forgetful for me. I've forgotten this book, and I'm going to this is another one I grabbed out of a free library along with The Fury, and this is going back into the free library. And one of the best books I read this month was Alexei Navalny's Patriot. Alexei Navalny was assassinated by Putin either last year or the year before last year. I think it was last year. I don't remember exactly. It was absolutely horrifying. This is a man who basically just sacrificed his life to fight against Putin's regime. And his memoir is built based on writings he was able to save from prison officials, different journal entries. This is a great book. This book is absolutely heartbreaking. It is so inspiring. This man is what he did for humanity and the fight against totalitarianism and corruption and against against Putin is absolutely unbelievable. He is so brave, and I love this book. This book was amazing, so well written. He's so relatable. He's such a great guy. I just love this book. I can't recommend this more. I mean, this book was just amazing. I love it. I also read I Feel Bad About My Neck by Nora Ephron. This book won one of the best 25 books of one of the best 100 books of the 25th century, I think. or it won something. I don't remember. This book was on some list of best books ever. I don't remember which list though. And so I wanted to pick it up. I read another book by her, which I didn't like at all. But this book was fun. I like this one. This was mostly stories about women getting older. And as a woman who's getting older, I could relate to all the stories, and I enjoyed this. This was a nice, relaxing, fun book. I mean, it wasn't brilliant and life-changing. It was just cute. It was really cute, and I enjoyed it, and I'm glad I read it, and I think I'd probably go back and reread this again. Yeah, this was a positive read for me. I also finally finished this book that I received from Elizabeth Bonesteel, which she signed. I actually think when the package came, it was from her directly because the return envelope was her name and address. So this book was great. I mean, it was not for everyone. It's very slow. It's very meticulous. It's very well written. I really liked it. It's about a Russian colony. I can't even pronounce this word. Arkhangelsk is a city in Russia, or an area in Russia, and this is about a group of, I guess they call them almost like a cult that left Russia as the world was ending, and they went to a different planet far, far away, and they set up a colony there. And they assumed the Earth no longer exists because of what was happening when they left. And then it's kind of a detective mystery because these women are disappearing. And all of a sudden, there's a ship that appears, and it's a ship from Earth. And it's hundreds of years after they left. So these people have been on their planet for generations, trying to survive, dealing with all kinds of fascinating problems that a colony could face in their situation. I really liked the science. I really liked the social. I thought this book was great. I really enjoyed this one. It was very, very slow. It was very, very interesting. It was haunting. I loved the characters. And I thought the relationship that they built with the new ship that came, the new ship is here to build a satellite on this planet. In fact, they didn't even know that this colony was still there. They assumed it was a myth. So it's a huge thing that they encounter this colony there that left Earth hundreds of years before them. So I really like this book. Again, it's not for everyone. If you want a quick, fun sci-fi read, this is not it. This is well done. This is very well done. I was really impressed with this one. And it's kind of obscure. It's not a very popular, famous book. It came out several years ago. I think I got this, I want to say in 2012. I'm sorry, 2022, 2023. It was a while ago. It took me way too long to read it, but I enjoyed it. This was really good. So I would recommend it if you want something that will make you think and you have to struggle through a bit. I also finished Eurotrash. This is an arc I received. When did this come out? This came out end of last year. I received it about that time. It, again, took me a while to read it. I think I started reading it and it was a bit slow in the beginning. I had a hard time getting into it, but this was great. I really, really like this book. This is, I guess it was a sequel. This is a sequel to another book he wrote, and this is semi-autobiographical, and it's about the author and his mother who is aging, and I guess she's dying, or she's very old and very sick, and they decide to go and travel through Europe. They already live in Europe, but they go to Germany. Do they go to Germany? Where do they go? Amsterdam? Let's see. They travel to Zurich. It begins in Zurich. His mother is 80 years old. In a mental institution, and they traveled to Switzerland. That was it. They traveled to Switzerland, and this was wonderful. I actually really enjoyed this. The relationship with the mother, the conversation they have, his reflections on his family's past, the trauma within the family, the trauma within Europe. It talks a lot about the relationship of this family to World War II and the Nazi concentration camps and their part in it. I thought this book was excellent. It's very, very short, but it didn't feel short. It felt very long. Even though this book is tiny, it took me a while to get through it. But I would highly recommend this one if you want something very thoughtful and complicated. But I love this one. This one, I'm very glad I got that arc. I think I'm going to hold on to that one. I reread Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, and I didn't love it the first time I read it. but I've been wanting to reread it because it's fun. I had a really fun time with this book. It's weird to say I had a great time reading the book, but I didn't love the book. And again, I finished rereading it this month, and still, same thing, had a great time reading it, but I didn't love it. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep on reading this book and rereading it. It is such a wild ride. You're basically in this crazy person's head, and you're just constantly being bombarded by all of her thoughts and all of her questions about what she's doing and her trying to explain everything. And it's just crazy. And it explores the concept of racism in the publishing industry. It really reminds me of Percival Everett's Erasure, which I thought was a little better done in terms of social commentary. But this one's definitely more fun. Well, I don't know. Erasure was really fun too. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend for a very crazy, fun ride through a crazy person's head. I finished Roger Houston's 10 Poems to Set You Free. I found one of these books. There's a whole set of these books. And I found one at a thrift store about 2 years ago. And I enjoyed it so much. I ended up getting all the books that he wrote. He wrote also 10 Poems to Change Your Life, 10 Poems to Open Your Heart. There's all these. And what these are self-help books. He takes poetry. Each chapter starts with a poem, and then he analyzes the poem, discusses the author, discusses how it relates to him, and kind of discusses the self-help implications of that poem. And I really like that because I'm both getting a self-help book and I'm also getting a poetry lesson. So I really enjoy these books. I try to read at least one a year. I think this is my third or fourth book that I finished in the set. But I really like it. If you want to feel smart and also feel good and improving yourself, definitely recommend this series by Roger Houston. I also finished a very interesting book. This is A Dinner for Vampires, and this is by Bethany Joy Lenz. She was an actress on, what was that show? Oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting the name of the show. I'm sure it says somewhere in here what the show is called. No, it does not. One Tree Hill. Yes, that was in my head too. So she was one of the stars on One Tree Hill, and she was also in a very religious cult. It was like a Christian fundamentalist cult that she ended up getting into while she was an actress. And I thought this was very interesting. I absolutely love books about cults. Any cult book I can find, I always end up reading it right away. And this was a very well-written book, and it's very interesting how a smart, successful, wealthy person can get stuck in a cult. I find that concept absolutely fascinating. So I don't think I'm going to hold on to this book because it was, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to reread it. Sometimes books are just so vivid that I don't know if I want to go through the experience again. This was definitely disturbing. It's very sad what she went through. Some of the things that the cult made her do were very depressing. And she's okay with it. I don't know if I'm okay with it. So I don't know. I'll have to think about whether I want to reread this book or just unhaul it, give it to somebody else to enjoy. But this was fun. This was usually the cult books I read are more about Scientology. I don't really read too many Christian cult books. So this may be one of my firsts, but I really enjoyed it. And then finally, this is another book I got from the publisher. I actually got this book this month, and I read it right away. And this was such a unique book. This is about an author of a very famous Harry Potter-like series that is diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's. I forget. I think it might be dementia. But she's very young, though. She's in her early 40s. And it's in the same universe as Harry Potter. So she wrote another very famous children's series. Like so famous that there's a cult following, there's theme parks, movies, TV shows, everything. But she hasn't finished the last book. And she now has dementia, and she's having a really hard time taking care of herself and writing and doing anything really. And she has to figure out how to finish the last book. And she's also secret. No one knows who the author of this series is. And I thought this book was very, very unique. I think I might hold on to it just because of how unique it is. I wouldn't say it's perfect. It's a little odd. It's very fanciful, kind of quirky. People have compared it to Where'd You Go, Bernadette, and I kind of agree to it. Definitely, I would say I loved Where'd You Go, Bernadette, but I've read that book a couple times now. I think maybe if I read this book again, I will love it more. But I like this enough to reread it. It was definitely interesting enough and fun enough to read again. So I would recommend this. This was interesting. Yeah, I keep saying interesting. That's really, yeah, a great book. Anyway, so let's see. How many did I read? I read this one, this one, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I also listened to Confessions of a Shopaholic, but book 1, which is good. It was really good. I think her Shopaholic series is just so strong. She really just got that character so well. I don't think she has the character in Remember Me as well as she does the Shopaholic character. So anyway, hopefully, I think this July will probably not be the best reading month either, because I have so much that I have going on. I have a musical coming out at the end of the month. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching.